Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much once again for tuning in to Captain Hook Tree Climbing channel. This is your host, Captain Hook, and we're gonna hop right back into this lift video. We're working on the ash tree this time, and we're beginning to just dismantle it. We're gonna take this thing down. It is super crispy, so we have to, I feel like I need to take a few extra precautions. I want to just be cognizant of things flying around, things that could hurt the guys in and around the area, and kind of just watching out for them more than anything, because it would seriously suck to hurt somebody. I mean, even if it's somebody you don't like, you know what I mean? You don't want to hurt anybody, man. So it is definitely worth it to take your time and just, be very careful and take all the precautions that you think will help you reach a certain outcome. In this case, just being super safe and making things just totally bomb proof. So that's the goal. And so right there, expert rigging right there by my buddy Johnny. Smash that like button if you liked the way that limb came down. So now we're cutting into this little area here. What am I doing? What is this guy doing? Oh, I went for the rope. Good. Oh yeah, you guys gotta understand, I did this quite a while ago. So I'm just kind of I do remember the job and everything, but all the detail and everything has kind of been forgotten. So there is an issue, and the issue is that branch down there. You see me just eyeing it there, so it kind of needs to be dealt with. Right here, get that half hitch tip tie, do that bowline, get it on there laying nice and flat. Look at that knot, man, just gorgeous. TDS, man, on point right there. Alright, so I'm going to put myself into this little tight area here, and with the lift, if you guys are following the series of videos with this job, the lift, it's not like a bucket truck that has the pneumatic controls where you can very precisely control the way you move and everything. This lift is not like that. This lift, whenever you move a control or something like that, it's very jumpy. So it behaves much different than pneumatic controls, because yes, it is hydraulically driven, but it's electronically based. So it's not like the input is all mechanical. It has to go through all these electronics, and then you get these jumpy kind of movements. So it's kind of weird in that sense. Getting into little areas like that is always kind of tricky, but once you get used to it, it's a no-brainer. And then here goes another situation. So whenever you're moving through cover like this, it's very important that you have the right safety gear, so that you have your glasses on and all that stuff, and even long sleeves to protect you from getting scratches and everything. And then the face shield that I use, it's on the Protos, so that thing definitely saves me from getting all scratched up, and it's great for situations like this. And so there's that cable, if you guys noticed it yet. Wow, that cable's a pain in the butt. So we're gonna cut this branch out of the way because we want to be able to see what's going on. And yeah, there it is. You see that cable, man? It's time for it to go. At this point, I'm contemplating whether I'm going to cut this top out. What are we gonna do with this tree? It doesn't really matter, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna go down and get some bolt breakers. So we're gonna go ahead and use this thing to cut that chain out of the ash tree and then out of the maple tree as well. We're gonna cut it up into a few pieces, that way these guys can get out of their way and we don't run into any unexpected situations. Maybe it'll cause an issue. Like I mentioned in the last videos, maybe we could throw it into the chipper, which would be the absolutely like worst thing. Cause thousands of dollars in damage. And we really want to avoid that kind of stuff. So we're gonna cut it out of the tree here. And look how this thing just falls. It's just got so much weight. Yeah, look at that. So we're gonna come over here and just cut it out of the maple as well, because it's still hung up in here. And so now the guys can really just work on it and get out of the way. I think it just for the groundies more than anything, it helps them out. So there you go, Mike. Thanks a lot, man. And so grab a rope here. Now this rope here is going to be used to control the butt on the next cut. We're going to be tip tying it, and we will be butt tying it. And I just want to get as much control on it as possible. Whenever we're tip tying long branches like this, there's always a possibility that it'll come back and strike you. So especially when the tying point is like closer to you. So it's just, you know, taking these extra little precautions and stuff. I'm gonna also take some of these branches off, just to prevent any hang-ups, and then on top of that, like as I mentioned before, the safety of the ground guys. And so this, I feel like this right here is such a proper way of cutting a branch like that you want to handle, you know what I mean? If you need to get a branch out of your way and it's like sizable and there's something underneath you and you just need to take it and throw it, this right here is an indispensable technique. It just has to be commonplace within, I think, any climber's toolbox, because you know, you can't rely on a peel cut, especially when there's things underneath you that can be damaged. So, I mean, I recently was just watching a video of a climber in a tree, and he was just going to town with his handsaw and started making peel cuts very recklessly, ended up damaging a roof. So, I mean, I'm not gonna mention any names here, but it's just something like this, a snap cut would have prevented that. That's all he needed to do. And if he's looking for quicker, then go ahead and use your chainsaw. I mean, he had a chainsaw, he could have made a quick snap cut and then just grab and throw. Clean up the nub, whatever you gotta do, right? But seriously, it's just about decision making and just cleaning up your act more than anything. All right. So here we got our pulley set up, as you guys can see there, with the whoopee sling. not tying off anything yet. What I want to do is come down, and then that branch right there, right below my pulley, there's a crotch. Okay, you see the union? That's the branch, the one I'm eyeing right there. Hang on. There she is. We're gonna take that one out. And we're gonna take that one out because the bigger branch below it is the one that we're gonna tip tie, and we're also gonna control the butt end with a rope, right? So here's that handy dandy one-handed cut here. Very tastefully used in my opinion. All right, perfect. So we're gonna extend a little bit here. Boom. So you see how when I let off of the control, the machine just like abruptly stops. It's just like a jolt. Like you're moving and then you're just not moving. So it's on off. That's how electronics work. That's their nature, right? It's on and off. And usually I think they can probably use some kind of a modulator to modulate that on and off, and kind of on and off, like the frequency of it can be in such a way that it slowly does it. That way you don't come to an abrupt stop, and it's more akin to the feeling of a bucket truck, of that pneumatic control, right, that I mentioned earlier. But anyway, we tip tied it already. We tip tied the branch, the video cut out, sorry. And then we're gonna butt tie it here. And one thing that I'm wondering is why I didn't put a face cut in that. I think I'm just gonna back cut it. And here goes like that handy dandy club hitch with a slip, half hitch slip there. We're not gonna overdo it and throw in extra half hitch. Usually I put in a half hitch whenever it's like the club hitch alone. So I'll back it up with an extra half hitch. But anyway, moving on. Let's move on through this video here. So I got Mike down on the butt end, and I just want to make sure that he knows that it's just for control.
Yeah.
So we've got some good practice with this.
Hold tight. Hold tight.
And he knows to hold it nice and steady. And I want him to hold it nice and steady because when the limb goes, this limb, I want that butt to be controlled, like to just stay stuck to the tree. Not coming back at me, not doing any fancy dancing in the air, none of that. I just want it to just be stuck to the tree, be as static as possible. And this is a great way to do that. This is really a great way to do it. And so what I'm going to do here is get the branch to kind of roll to the left. All right, I'm going to get above it a little bit because I'm still scared that it's going to come at me. So there goes that one-handed cutting, baby. Oh yeah, perfect. All right, so you see how that was pretty static and it kind of just fell straight down. That butt wasn't dancing around too much. It was just perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So on the ground, for the ground guys, it might be a bit annoying for them, and I understand that. But sometimes, man, as a climber, the guy who's in air, I kind of just do what I feel like is, I go with my gut feeling. I don't usually like to base all my decisions on the ground guys and how they're going to feel about what I'm doing. I do always ask and inquire, with my climbers or with my ground guys about, what do you want? Because in the end, they're going to be the ones dealing with it. Right? I make the cuts. I'm up here just chilling. I'm having fun. But I want you guys to be comfortable doing the grunt work. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. It's grunt work. I like doing groundwork, but I mean, not all people do. So when you make it a little bit easier for them, it definitely it gives you brownie points, and in the end, your guys are going to watch out for you because you watch out for them. So it's not all about the brownie points, but it's mostly just about creating a culture where you're looking out for your guys and they know that you're going to look out for them. You know what I mean? They look out for you, you look out for them. They do it because you do it, that kind of a deal. All right, so here we are going to go with a I'm going to be using the rope that's behind me on the maple. It's the main anchor point, rigging point is on the maple tree. And so basically what you end up getting is shared loads. And that's all I want to do is share the load, because I know that this tree is extremely brittle and I need to just be careful not to overload anything. And it's just a great way to kind of mitigate the forces being applied to this crispy ass tree. You know what I mean?
Stay clear.
So anytime you're able to create that kind of load sharing, it's just gonna work for you extremely well. And look at how Johnny's placed. He's on the porter wrap, but he's not right up on the porter wrap. He's just placed right there where he can walk the rope in. Sometimes guys don't wear gloves when they're rigging and they're on the porter wrap. So one great technique that I like to always teach somebody new to it is just walk it in. And even if you're wearing gloves, I still walk it in, and it's a mixture of walking it in and letting it run through your hands. So, because you can still burn through your gloves and and your hands. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much again for tuning into the video. I wish you guys luck in your future endeavors, and until next time, guys, peace out.